Hi to everyone and an early welcome to Kenyon. We're glad you'll be joining us and we're looking forward to having you on campus. If you are interested in a health profession after you complete your work at Kenyon, you are in the right place. My name's Sheryl Hemkin. I am a professor of chemistry and also working as an associate provost. And with these duties, I am also the chair of the Kenyon Health Professions Advising Committee, or HPAC. And I'm going to bring you a few slides to help you get an understanding of what classes you might want to take this first year in order to get yourself on track to your future. All right, let's get started. Off we go. Kenyon's HPAC, or the Health Professions Advising Committee, has a variety of resources for you. The resource that's probably most easily accessible to you right now is the website with the link given on this slide. That website has a variety of info about potential HPAC advisors, sample schedules for common majors, and a variety of web-based resources, etc. So please check through it. It can answer a lot of standard questions. HPAC also has advisors. Make sure to get one of these. Use the link above to access a page that has the names for all the advisors. These are the advisors that are listed. Most of us come from the sciences, but you are not limited to having a science major in order to be pre-health, pre-med. We also have a pre-professional advisor, Maureen Tobin. She is the keeper of all knowledge. She is a wonderful resource. Make sure you talk to her. In addition, we're going to be holding events. So please plan to attend some of these, whether they're virtual or in person. We'll have panels with alums that are in med school, alums with careers in different health professions, and so on. And so it's usually a great place to dig up a little information. Now, before we go on and talk about the nuts and bolts, I'd like to take a moment to just stop and think a little more holistically about what you are committing to if you're looking to go to medical or health professional school. You're committing to live a life of integrity and purpose. Along with integrity and purpose, medical and health professional schools are going to be looking at demonstration of your intellect. Have you had meaningful health-related experiences, etc.? Now, many people want to know, what should I study? What should my major be? And the answer is, you can major in any of Kenyon's departments and still get into medical school or physical therapy school, nursing school, whatever you decide. However, you will have to make sure you take the courses that are associated with that school's requirements. So that means you need to plan very carefully. Careful planning is the most important thing that you can be doing. It'll help you navigate the requirements for your major, for admission to the school of interest for you, as well as making sure you get the courses that you need to do well on the admissions exams. So that's why talking with HPAC advisors and your academic advisor is very important. And some of you might be saying, what is the difference between my academic advisor and an HPAC advisor? Your academic advisor is the person you've already been assigned to, and they will help guide you through the registration process. An HPAC advisor is typically someone who is not your academic advisor. The HPAC advisors, those that are listed on the third slide that we went past, have a fair amount of experience working with people that are interested in the health professions and can give you some good advice as to how to proceed forward. Remember, there's 3 sets of requirements you need to satisfy while you're here at Kenyon. The Kenyon general requirements, the major requirements, and you need to collect the class requirements for your medical or health professional school. I'm going to leave it to your regular academic advisor to talk to you about the general Kenyon requirements and your major requirements. I'm going to spend this time talking more about the medical or the health professional school requirements. What you will find is many of the requirements depend on both the school and the type of profession you're looking at. And this is particularly true if you're not interested in medical school. Requirements aren't as standardized if you're thinking about vet school or optometry school, for example. So what we have here is a chart that talks to us a little bit about the typical class requirements for admission into a variety of health-related professions. Note I have typical in italics because not all dentistry programs, for example, may follow this exact pattern. So if you are interested in dentistry or if you're interested in nursing, how do you know what classes to take this first year? One thing you might want to think about are which of these typically required courses are first year courses. And so we've got a variety of them here: intro bio and chemistry, physics, math, and English. So these probably would be places to start, but we would also encourage you to actually look on the website of potential schools that you might be interested in to see what their admission requirements actually are, because they can diverge quite substantially. Now we're going to move on and we're going to talk a little bit about medical schools, because these are a little bit more standardized in terms of what the typical requirements are. And the typical requirements are listed here, with the Kenyon courses that correspond to those requirements given in the right column. Again, some of the medical schools may have just slightly different requirements, but most of them will follow pretty closely to this. All right, knowing this, what about your first year class registration? What do you sign up for if you've got pre-med interests, for example? And I'm using pre-med because it's more standardized. But if you look back at the other health professions, a lot of what I'm saying here will apply as well. Now, as you look towards registration and picking out classes, you need to think about yourself. Each one of you are an individual, and what works for one may not work for the next. Things to think about are your academic preparation, what type of major you're interested in. Also, when do you plan to apply? In the past, students would go straight to medical school from college, but that's not as popular now. Many students take a year or two as career development years, and that can affect how you want to schedule. With that, everyone is unique. There's no automatic one-size-fits-all schedule. You really need to think about who you are, what your interests are, and talk with your advisor, your academic advisor and or HPAC advisor about these interests. All that being said, here's an idea that works for most. And we call it the pick two categories method. In the pick two categories method, we're going to ask you to complete courses from at least two of these three categories that are listed in the red dotted boxes. So there's box A, that's chemistry, box B, that's biology or physics, box C, that's either English or a language class. Complete courses from at least two of those categories, and you're going to be in good shape as you go forward. For example, taking chemistry and English in your first year, or maybe biology and a language, or physics and English. Those are ways to satisfy this pick two. With that, however, I need to give you a bit of a warning, so please pay attention to this. This is really important. If you're considering going straight to medical school, that is applying after your third year, because of the number of chemistry courses that you must take before taking the MCAT, you really need to start in chemistry now if you want to take the MCAT at the end of your third year. That is, chemistry or box A should be one of your pick two choices. If you don't want to take the MCAT at that point, if you'd like to take a year or two off and developing your career, you can start with chemistry in your second year. That would work fine. Also, if you happen to be picking chemistry and biology for this first year, do let it be known that you can take biology lab next year. You do not have to take chemistry lab and lecture and biology lab and lecture at the same time. You can defer with the biology lab, and a lot of people do. Additional information you can pick up about scheduling and doing this type of thing comes from the HPAC website. I've got this at the bottom of the slide you're looking at right now. There's a recap of the Pick2 method, and there's also a web link to some sample schedules. The sample schedules give you some examples of how you could work through common majors that are associated with pre-meds. Some examples are biology, chemistry, English, etc. Of course, this is only a place to start, but it doesn't have to be followed exactly, because remember, everyone is an individual and you may progress through the major in slightly different ways. Nonetheless, it's there for a guide. All right, getting near the end. First year registration essentials. Tell your academic advisor that you're considering a health career. Absolutely super important. They will be able to give you better guidance if they know where your future interests lie. The other thing, make sure you're engaging in the academic department presentations, so the other little videos like this one, and explore as many majors in which you have interest. And take your placement exams. It could give you a little boost forward in the curriculum. Also, study the health professions, the HPAC website, and all the orientation materials we have. And then to choose classes, use the Pick2 category method. That's what a lot of people use. Or you could look at those sample schedules and see if there's a better starting point for you. Of course, if you have any questions, make sure to ask HPAC faculty member or Maureen Tobin. You can get all our information from either that third slide. All right, that's it for a quick tour of pre-health orientation. Of course, again, if you've got any questions, make sure to contact us. But we wish you well, and we hope to see you soon on campus. Have a great day. Bye-bye.